Laura. I'm the curator here at Side Gallery. So obviously today we're doing a bit of a Q&A, meet the artist, have a little chat with Susan Lincoln, which of course you might have noticed her work is in the Side Gallery at the moment. It's a great way to kind of ask the questions that you want to ask about the process behind a lot of works, because sometimes when we see art on the wall, there's a lot that goes on before it gets to that point, and that's some of the most important parts sometimes, depending on the type of art, especially with Susan's it is integral to what you see. So this is always a good opportunity for us to ask those sorts of questions, and in a nice intimate setting too.
The incredible lightness of being. Mm-hmm. Look, that movie came out many years ago, and I think it had Jim Carrey in it, and the title of it just really knocked me over, because I thought that was really summed up my work in a way, because it talked about light and life in the one sentence, and so I've always just tucked it away, and I've been wanting to use it for many years, and I think with all my titles they are really quite strong and do have that little bit of a story behind them.
There's narrative.
The history of it, yes. When I came to propose to museums and galleries to tour the show, I entitled it You Are Here Too, because we will be reconfiguring it as an indoor work. So at the McClelland it was outdoors for 8 months. A lot of the works in that had to be quite enclosed and not accessible to the public, because there wasn't security around and things like that, 24 hours a day. Yeah. So to have the opportunity to make that work, also because it was very bloody expensive, to make that, give it a longer life, and to be able to tour it to remote and regional areas in Australia, has been fantastic, and hence the title You Are Here Too. So it will become an immersive installation that will be shown within regional galleries.
And that's probably a good place to jump then to the idea of regional Australia and your upbringing and how that's actually impacted and informed your practice, because I think it's a really rich link to having like childhood memories that you still reflect on in this day and age.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about where you grew up and things like that.
So I've lived in I was born in Charleville, I lived in Roma, I've lived in Toowoomba, I've lived in Collinsville in North Queensland. I did a stint up there in the mines, and now I have been back in Brisbane for almost maybe 20 years, and this has become my life. But I always remained true to those roots, because I did do my undergraduate degree was in interior design, but I went to an art college, and I think that was when I was introduced to installation art. Mm-hmm. And I suppose that's why a lot of my work is about that space as well, because I figure out, I see it within space, in three-dimensional space.
And something that I wanted to touch on too, because I think that a lot of us here, so I see a lot of artists here today as well, we understand what process means in terms of qualitative hours and how it can really, really come down to a simple image on the wall such as a stick, but actually tell us a little bit about the line. Yeah, tell us about the sticks.
So with the sticks, actually, the sticks are, they've evolved from being in the windows of the Rainbow Room, because I think I mentioned quickly before, or just briefly, that I had to contain the artworks that went with the Rainbow Room, so you couldn't have access to them. So I was trying to look for something that I could use to maybe hold crystals like up in like on a vertical plane, and they had to be only this thick and had to have all these things. And in the meantime, we had moved to Highgate Hill, and my mother-in-law lives next door. So I was continually climbing over this big retaining wall, down a ladder, to go and visit her or send her food when I wasn't so busy, definitely. And all of us, it sort of all gelled together, because
And now tell us how you actually...
How do I do it?
Yeah, talk us about that.
Oh, it's just a painted stick on the wall.
Stop.
No, well, I go out looking for the sticks, so I have a good keen eye, and usually they're at my height. So I do look for it has to be have many crossovers probably, and it all depends how it's grown. And I do look for the interest in the shape, and I think that yes, this is what I think it could become. So I take that home. Well, I cut it. If it isn't fallen on the ground. I cut it, take it home, clean it, then I dry it. So I dry it in the oven, or if I have time, some of the ones on the wall I've been able to dry, over years that have applied for the Vision Australia grant to tour the show. And museums and galleries have helped them do that grant application process. But Warwick were very, very keen to have that show because they have a little group that goes there of intellectually disabled children, and they do a lot of work around that meditative process and things. So they were so excited to...